Not only is it annoying, constant yanking and pulling on a leash can cause severe injuries. Dogs want to engage with the environment, and humans, to a dog, can be slow. In this video, you are going to learn how to finally gain control during your routine doggy strolls and teach your dog how to walk on a leash without pulling. So if you've never been able to give your dog a walk without them going crazy excited about their surroundings, then you should stay till the end of this video. Number 1. Pick the right equipment. When choosing a leash for a dog that pulls, there are a few things to consider. While shorter leashes may give you more control, longer leashes are more suitable for training while you try to teach your dog what to and what not to do. Generally, when choosing a leash, you should consider one that is long enough but still affords you a level of control. A comfortable and well-fitting harness is preferable to a neck collar if your dog has a history of hard pulling. At least for the purpose of training, this should be your first choice since it clips at the dog's chest and effectively turns them around if they lunge forward. However, a head collar might be necessary for really powerful pullers. Head collars function similarly to a horse's bridle, providing more physical control than standard harness or flat collars. Neither of these two options will inflict pain or suffering on the dog. Now, the second most important thing to incorporate into your training is to reward your dog for not pulling. Attach your dog to the leash and get some pea-sized pieces of chicken or cheese or some quality treat you know they like, because you're going to be needing lots of these rewards to reinforce positive behavior. Before jumping into a leveled up environment like the park, you might want to start the training in a space with minimum distractions, like indoors or your personal yard space. Training them to understand their job on a leash before introducing distractions is key in dog leash training. Once you're ready to get started, it's time to show your dog that walking at your side is a positive thing. Depending on preference, either the left or right side can be used. Try taking just 1 or 2 steps forward while rewarding your dog with a hand that is now holding onto that side. This means that if your dog is on the right side, the right hand does the rewarding. This is very crucial because your dog will go back to the spot where the reinforcement was given, keeping them where you want them to be instead of making them run across you just to reach the treats. Walk briskly and randomly around your yard. Whenever your dog happens to choose to walk beside you, reward him with a praise and a treat. If he continues walking next to you, reward him for every step you take together. As he gets better at this, you will not need to reward him as often. If your dog suddenly gets uninterested in you, this might be out of exhaustion or being overfed. Mark your progress, then take him inside and try again later at a time when he is a bit more hungry and excited. Now, what do you do when they pull on the leash? So now you know what to do when your dog is getting it right. But what happens when your dog pulls ahead? In fact, the real task begins when they start to pull hard like they're on a mission to break free. The truth is, your dog will continue to pull because in the past, it has worked to get him where he wants to go, and for the record, he has been in charge of the walks, yanking and pulling everywhere you both go. So now, when the leash becomes tense, you have 2 choices. First, abruptly change direction and head another way. If your dog is pulling in a certain direction, change direction suddenly. This training step is effective in reminding them that you're in control and will interrupt their continuous forward pulling. Your other option is to make a sudden stop, back up until your dog is back at your side again, and then move forward. When your dog starts to pull on the leash, stop walking and don't move until they stop pulling. This will teach your dog that pulling doesn't lead to getting where they want to go, and ultimately it discourages the behavior. This is not easy training, but it works, and it works permanently. 5 to 10 minute training sessions at a stretch, and you're on a progressive journey to succession. Take the training to the streets. So your dog walks well on a leash now, but if an exciting distraction appears, all bets are off. What now? You will apply the same techniques as you did in your yard, but now there will be additional distractions and challenges, such as friendly strangers, squirrels, and other dogs. This can be more of a challenge because regardless of how cooperative your dog was when practicing your backyard, this is the open. There are hundreds of things screaming at them to pull. You've got to start with a distraction at a distance from which your dog can focus on you instead, and gradually close in as you teach your dog to neglect every other thing and focus on you. For example, if your dog barks and pulls continuously at other animals, you should train them at a distance from this trigger. You can call out your dog's name, instruct commands like "let's go" while pulling them back gently but firmly. Reward him with treats when he comes back to your side, stops barking, or walks beside you. Move closer and closer to the trigger while repeating the step until they show little to no reactions to the environment. Be sure to reward him with extra treats when it is extra difficult for him to pay attention to you. Don't forget to give permission for sniff breaks when leash training a puppy. With practice, the appearance of that distraction can ultimately cue your dog to begin focusing on you and working with you. Then and only then can you begin to increase the intensity of the distraction. While leash training a puppy, if the dog is crossing in front of you, stomp or shuffle your feet a bit to make your presence more obvious. If he is lagging behind a great deal, he could be frightened or not feeling well, so use lots of encouragement instead of pulling him along. If he's lagging to sniff around, simply keep walking, but be sure to apply only gentle pressure on the leash. Don't forget to use lots of rewards when he walks with you. If after you've practiced these steps to leash training and your dog seems to be alternating between walking beside you and pulling, don't give any rewards when he comes back to you after pulling. Instead, concentrate on rewarding him for taking a larger number of consecutive steps by your side. Teaching your dog to walk calmly on a leash is an important aspect of responsible dog ownership. Not only does it make walking more enjoyable for you both, it also provides safety for your furry friend.